And we're so pleased to be back with Nicolás Mirman, who is the director of...
The commercial director for Bali International Airport.
Commercial.
Everything commercial. I make the money, others spend it.
You make the money for this airport and others spend it. Okay, we'll put that out on record.
Sounds like a plan.
Thanks, it's great to see you again.
It's so great to have you here, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah, always a pleasure. And so we're here to catch up on the latest news about Bali International Airport. We're coming into the winter time, which is very busy for you. So since we were last here, what have I missed?
Well, you have missed, as always, we have so many good things going on, and so we have different stories to share with you. The mainland, the one that is here already, is that the Winter Texan season is already in full pace. We have the 3 airlines already scheduled their service. So Sun Country, their traditional service that they have had in place for more than 30 years to Minneapolis, has been flying since the last week in September. They're going to go all the way through May. Then airline number 2 is Delta. They started flying the first week of September all the way to May to Minneapolis, with the caveat that Delta offers unique connectivity to the Winter Texans in the upper Midwest and Canada, more than 35 to 40 cities from all these cold places that are looking for the warmth of the Rio Grande Valley. Delta offers unique connectivity through Minneapolis. And so it is interesting to see the planes landing with people from Minneapolis, but then other places like Fargo, Minot, Indianapolis, Grand Rapids, all the upper Midwest gets into the Delta planes to get down to the Rio Grande Valley for the winter. And then the third airline is American. They will have a little bit of a shorter season this year, but they will be flying nonstop to Chicago, something like everybody in the Rio Grande Valley is always asking. They will be flying to Chicago and connections to more than 30 cities over there in the upper Midwest as well. Starting, the peak of the fall season, of the spring break season, end of February all the way through April, with a plane that has first class, economy class, and the one in the middle, economy plus. And so we are super excited. We'll have more than 60,000 seats each way between October all the way to May, specifically to upper Midwest passengers coming for the Winter Texan season. 60,000 seats.
You have 60,000 capacity. How many do you think you'll fill? Any of those?
Well, it's up to the valley to attract the people, but we are thinking that we will be 85 to 90% of all seats are going to be filled up in there. And something that I like to bring up is what it means on the economic impact that these seats could have. And we estimate that this season, this whole economic impact will be north of $60 million for the whole Rio Grande Valley. Why do I mean by that? Is what the people, after they bought their tickets, is what we expect very conservatively, like my estimation is very, very conservative, that these Winter Texans will spend in hotels, in restaurants, in buying stuff. The money that they will spend here could be north of $60 million. And that is something that is interesting when we're talking about air service too, Steve. We were actually off the cameras talking how important it's not so much to try to bring new routes, although they sound very sexy. The real objective of an airport is that once we get something, it works, is that we are able to fill it up as much as possible. So the airlines will reschedule the same capacity or more next year. And so it is actually a challenge for the region to actually be able to attract those 60,000 passengers, potential passengers from the upper Midwest. Because if we do a good job this year, next year those seats will be in the market again, and we will be able to repeat that $60 million next year and the year after and the year after, and grow it and grow it and grow it.
So
remember,
it's all about keeping business.
It's all about keeping business, and if we keep that business on a successful way, we will be able to responsibly be able to attract more business. If we attract business this year and the planes are not filled, next year are not going to be here unless We subsidize it, which is something we don't want to do.
And you've never done.
We have never done it.
It always fascinates me when you mention Delta and all those connecting flights they have up in the upper Midwest. How do the folks up there find out about South Padre Island and the Rio Grande Valley? Because there must be some tremendous marketing. The United States is a big country, so how do all those communities up there find out, one, about the island, two, about the valley, three, that there's a direct flight from
Delta, Sun Country, and American.
Yeah, there's direct flights down to Harlingen.
That is a huge question. That's very good that you mentioned it. Here in the Valley, in Valley International Airport, we partner a lot with everybody in the Rio Grande Valley. As per FAA, the Federal Aviation Authority, doesn't allow airports to market outside the region. But we have partners exclusively with South Padre Island and with other partners throughout the Rio Grande Valley for them to let the people know what is the offer, not only on flights, but also on lodging, on activities, everything tourism-wise. We partner with South Padre Island and the other communities throughout the Rio Grande Valley. We have the information about where these airlines are flying and where the passengers are buying the tickets. It's not only Minneapolis and Chicago, as I was telling you, is Minot cities. Some of them are very obscure, like Minot, Fargo, Sioux Falls, Wichita Falls, all the way to Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Grand Rapids, Detroit. All these 25 to 30 plus communities in the upper Midwest, we as an airport have exactly information about how big is the interest, how interesting is for those places to come to a place that is warm, yet is not outside the United States. We share that information with them, and then they are able to allocate their marketing efforts exactly where they need to fill up the planes for Sun Country, for Delta, and for American.
So the tourist team at South Padre Island and in the other communities in the valley, they must be doing a good job.
I think they're doing a terrific job. We bring this idea up to them when we started to get more interest for other airlines. And we have been collaborating with them very closely, so we are able to fill up those planes. Because as airlines like to do, if you don't use it, you lose it. If these planes are not full, we're going to lose them for next year. So it is very important for the whole region, and I want to reinforce that. It's very important for the region to take ownership on these seats and do anything we can to fill them up at a good fare so the airlines make money, so they will feel the incentive to invest more and more and more on flights into the Rio Grande Valley and into Valley International.
You've made that pitch there. You'll be watched by people across the valley here, the leadership in all the communities and the general public as well. So your message is that the Rio Grande Valley as a community, as a region, we can help. We can help the airlines fill those seats to ensure that they keep coming back next year and the following years.
Absolutely. I think that it is an effort. Our job as an airport, and I would say our colleagues too, is to sell this destination to the airlines, but it is the job of the community to, once the passengers are here, even before that, for the people from these markets to know that the flights are there, for them to fly here, and once they're here, for them to have such a good experience that they come back year after year after year. We have the example of Sun Country bringing people from Minnesota, from Minneapolis, for more than 30 years. And that is a success story that is already settled, that is here, on a strong way. But all these other communities that can get here through a connection, the more they know about this possibility to come here, and the more that they come here and they enjoy it, the more they will bring their families next year, and the more they're going to come back. And so, as an airport, what we can do is bring this information to the airlines so they hopefully trust on us. And when I say us, they trust on the community, so they can fly here. but it is then the community to offer such a good service, such a good effort, such a good product that will make for people to come back. Because in reality, we are competing with all the other communities in the Gulf, right? We're competing with Panama City, we're competing with Tampa, we're competing with St. Petersburg, we're competing with Fort Myers, we're competing with Miami, we're competing with a lot of places in the US that have similar offers, and we're also competing with a whole bunch of islands in the Caribbean, and Mexico, and the other side of Mexico. And so what we have to offer the passengers, the visitors, is our hospitality, the fact that we're in the US, the fact that we have a unique culture mix that nobody else can match, the fact that we are very economical, and the fact that we don't need to have a passport to travel, and that we have the perfect weather when they are freezing their tails up there in the upper Midwest. But the experience that they have here has to be so good that they will want to repeat it. The same way that we make our own choices for vacations every year. If we went to Cancun, like we do have the flight in the summer here from Bali International, if people in Cancun really take care of us, we'll go back. If they don't, we'll go somewhere else. And that is the thing that is so unique about the airline and airport business. Our factories are planes. We don't own the planes, the airlines do, and they will only send those planes here, one, because we can fill them up, and two, because we can fill them up at a good fare. $20, $30 fares are not good fares for an airline to make money. We had to bring the people here, we had to make good money for the airlines, and if we do that, they will send their planes back to our airports and our community.
So we've got to put the welcome mat out there for the Winter Texans, which we do historically. The Valley's always done that.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate just how important the Winter Texans are to our economy.
$60 million this year, and hopefully we do a good job and we get them back next year, or more, 60 or more.
So that's the main story for today with you, with Valley International Airport, is to tell the public again about the importance of those flights for the Winter Texans to the upper Midwest.
That's exactly right. Now, and it is something that it is morphing a little bit, and I think it is very exciting too. So the Winter Texans have traditionally came here because it is very cold up in Minnesota, and Wisconsin, in Michigan. Now the central Midwest, areas like Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, the central Midwest, in the winter, the winters are not that cold. They're cold for us, but they're not so cold for them. But the summers are very, very hot. So what we are developing with the collaboration of some airlines is the Summer Texans, if you want to call them that way, which is what the summer will be for those central Midwest destinations into the Rio Grande Valley. So this coming summer, we have been working very hard with Southwest to bring back service to northern Texas, so to Dallas, because the main selling point for Southwest there is that they have connectivity to places like Omaha, Iowa, Des Moines, St. Louis, Kansas City, Wichita, out of Dallas. And so during this summer, we will have a little bit of a small Summer Texan program that entails not only United to Houston and American to Dallas DFW, but also Southwest flying into Dallas Love Field every day for the whole summer, every day of the week. And on the weekends, there are going to be 2 flights every day. And so places like Oklahoma, as I was saying before, the state of Oklahoma, Oklahoma and Tulsa, Iowa, Arkansas, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri will have the opportunity to spend their summers here when they are dying of heat pretty much in the summer. And so this is going to be more of an experimental proposition, but if we are successful, we will be able to counterbalance Winter Texans, Upper Midwest, Summer Texans, if you want to call them that way, or we can find other ways to call it, will be more for the summer when we bring people from the Central Midwest into the beach here in Texas.
So make sure I'm following you correctly. The folks in the Midwest, not the Upper Midwest, they have reasonably good summers, and yet you want to attract them to the Rio Grande Valley, which is even hotter.
But what they don't have is the ocean. And that is the selling point. People from Nebraska, people from Kansas, people from Missouri, people from Oklahoma don't have access to the ocean. And that is the unique selling point that South Padre and the Rio Grande Valley has for them. We are offering them the opportunity to spend their summer in the ocean instead of going overseas, no need for passport, very economical too, right here in the valley.
Are you in competition there with Florida and California?
We are always in competition with them because Florida is attracting Winter Texans as much as we do.
No, I'm thinking of the summer Texans.
And for the summer,
Oklahoma and Nebraska.
And so what I'm saying is we're always competing with California, Arizona, and Florida. When it is a Winter Texan, that same Winter Texan is a Winter Floridan and Winter California for their winters. During the summer, these states in the central regions also go down. The central areas of the eastern coast go down to Florida. The central areas of the Midwest tend to go to the west side of Florida. We are trying to start targeting this new market to bring them, instead of letting them go to Destin or Panama City in Florida or Fort Myers or Tampa, to go a little farther south or come all the way to South Padre Island and the Rio Grande Valley. It's pretty much the same product.
And you've never tried that concept, that market before?
It's not like we never have it. We are going to emphasize that because of this new extra service that we will have this summer. And so the challenge is to fill up these extra planes. The service that American has is going to be there to Dallas, to DFW. The service that we have on United is going to be there. The novelty is that Southwest will have between 1 and 2 flights every day to Dallas with quick connectivity to Oklahoma, Missouri, Nebraska, Kansas. And at the same time, for our people, we will have the Cancun flight, which is the third story that we can talk here in a little bit.
But Southwest has not done that before in the summer from Harlingen.
Southwest hasn't been doing that for a while. Southwest had one flight to Dallas. They discontinued that, and now they're bringing it back for the summer because they want to focus on the inbound traffic from the central Midwest regions.
Okay.